Good morning, boys and girls. I am so glad to be with you again. Don't know if you can recognize me because I cut off all my hair so that I could give it to an organization that makes wigs for kids with cancer. So I have short hair now. But I'm Jenny Chamberlain. I teach sociology at South Texas College. And at South Texas College, we want to see kids succeed. We want you to be able to be successful. And one of the biggest steps to being successful is to start off with reading. So today I brought one of my favorite stories. It's called Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. Now, one of the reasons why I'm talking about turtles is because with the summer reading program, we have a turtle on the shirt. And so I'm matching all of you. We're all twins. I think this is such a great shirt. So also, did you know some turtles, the giant turtles and tortoises, can live to be 300 years old, maybe even older. Some of the oldest living creatures on the entire planet. So they can be very wise. Now, this story is by Douglas Wood, and the watercolors are by John J. Muth. And they are so beautiful. I can't wait to share this story with you. Okay, so here we go. Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. Can you see that picture? Isn't it so pretty? And he says, to all who seek truths and who listen to the language of breezes and turtles. Once in a beautiful faraway land that was somehow not so very far away. A land where every stone was a teacher and every breeze a language, and where every lake was a mirror and every tree a ladder to the stars. Oh, that's magical. Into this far and lovely land there fell a truth. It streaked down from the stars, trailing a trail as long as the sky. But as it fell, it broke. One of the pieces blazed off through the night sky, and the other fell to the earth in the beautiful land. Do you see it? In the morning, Crow found the fallen piece. It seemed to be a sort of stone, shiny and pleasing to the eye. He picked it up. This is a lovely truth, said Crow. I will keep it. And he carried it away. But after he had held it for a while and examined it closely, Crow said, this truth does not feel quite right. A part of it is missing, and I will look for the whole one. He flew off and dropped it to the ground. See? Other creatures who like shiny things soon noticed the truth as well. Fox, coyote, raccoon, each picked it up and carried it a while. But they too found that it had rough edges and was difficult to carry, and its sparkle soon lost its appeal. We do not need this broken truth, they said. We will find a whole truth. Butterfly and bear also discovered the truth, drawn by its sweetness. But each found that it left a bitter taste after all. There is something missing in this truth, they thought, and they left it alone. After a while, none of the creatures even noticed the broken truth, and it lay on the ground forgotten. Then a human being found it. He was walking slowly and listening to breezes, gazing at the beauties above and below and all around him when he found the broken truth. On it was written, and the writing said, "You are loved." The man held it carefully, thinking it was the loveliest thing he had ever seen. He tucked the broken truth into a safe place and kept it. Sometimes he would take it out and admire it, and the truth sparkled just for him and whispered its message to him alone. And the man thought he had never felt so proud and so happy. beautiful. The man took the wonderful truth to his people, those who lived with him, who spoke as he spoke and dressed as he dressed, and whose faces looked like his face. And together they cherished their newfound truth and believed in it. They hugged it to themselves, and it became their most important possession. After a while, the man and his people did not hear the language of the breezes and the stones anymore. They heard only their truth. They did not see the mirrored beauty of the lakes or the ladders to the stars, but saw only their sparkling truth. And for them, it was enough. And they called it the truth. The truth made the people feel good and proud and strong. But soon they also began to feel fear and even anger towards those who were not like themselves and did not share their truth. The other beings and other people of the lovely land seemed less and less important, and the language of the breezes, they hardly even heard it anymore. Time passed, and other people said, "We must have this great truth for ourselves, for with it comes happiness and power." Many battles were fought, and the broken truth was won and lost, over and over again. But such was its power and beauty that no one ever doubted it, and when they were without it, they felt a great emptiness where their truth had been. The stones and the trees suffered. The breezes and the waters suffered, and the animals and the earth, and most of all, other people suffered. Oh, look at that. Scary. Finally, the animals went to Old Turtle, ancient and wise as the mountains and the seas. Themselves, crow and fox went to him. Coyote went, raccoon, butterfly, bear, and many others. All went to see Old Turtle, the wisest of all. "This truth the people quarrel over," they said. "We have all held it ourselves. It is broken and does not work. Please tell the people." "I'm sorry," said Old Turtle, "but the people will not listen. They are not yet ready." And the suffering continued. Oh, dear. Until one day, a little girl came to find Old Turtle. She traveled very far and had crossed the mountains of imagining and the river of wondering why, and had found her way through the forest of finding out. And when she had grown tired, she had ridden on the backs of animals, on the wings of birds, and they had helped her to find her way to Old Turtle. Finally, they came to the great hill in the very center of the world. From there, the little girl thought she had never seen so far or seen so much beauty. Wow. But when she saw Old Turtle, she could hardly speak. She simply looked at him with her eyes full of wonder. "Why have you come so far to me, little girl?" asked Old Turtle. Her voice rumbled like faraway thunder, but was soft as the breeze through a caterpillar's whiskers. I wanted to ask a question," answered the little girl. "Where I live, the earth is sore, and people are suffering. Battles are fought over and over again. People say it has always been this way, and it will never change. But can it change, Old Turtle? Can we make it change? Can we do better?" Old Turtle spoke. "The world you describe is not the world that has always been, little one." Then Old Turtle told of how people had found the broken truth and the suffering it had caused, and destroyed the peace that was before. It is because it is so close to a great whole truth that it has such beauty, and that the people love it so, said Old Turtle. It is the lost portion of that broken truth that the people need if the world is to be made whole again. But where is the missing piece? Asked the little girl. Can the truth be put back together again? First, my child, said Old Turtle, remember that there are truths all around us and within us. They twinkle in the night and they bloom upon the sky. They fall upon us every day, silent as the snow, gentle as the rain. The people clutching their one truth forget that it is a part of all the small and lovely truths of life. They no longer see these truths, no longer hear them. But perhaps you, a child, perhaps you can help them to hear. I'll try, said the little girl. And she thought once more of her long journey. She looked upon the beauty that surrounded her, from the far hills to the flowers beneath her feet. She saw the movement of clouds and soaring of birds. She saw the dancing of light and the green and living things on the earth. She heard the whispering of a breeze, and gradually a feeling came over her, as though the world were made of truths, as if the whole world had been made just for her, and she had been made for it. And she felt a secret smile somewhere deep inside, and thought that perhaps she understood. She looked once again at Old Turtle, her eyes more filled with wonder than ever before. Old Turtle spoke again. Remember this also, little one, she spoke. The broken truth and life itself will be needed only when one person meets another, someone different from them, from a different place, with a different face or different ways, and sees and hears themselves. Only then will people know that every person, every being is important, and that the world was made for each one of us to share. For a long time, then the two friends were quiet, high on the hill, in the very center of the world. And in her heart, the little girl thought she could see other people in other beautiful lands, people different from her own people, but still somehow part of the people, part of life. Finally, the little girl asked one more question. Old Turtle, how will the people learn these things? By seeking out those small and simple truths all around them, said Old Turtle. By listening once more to the language of breezes. By learning lessons from stones and animals and trees and flowers. By learning the language of animals, even of stars and turtles, and little girls. Now, little one, it is time for you to go to return to your people and tell them what you have learned and seen, and to help them mend their own broken truth. Take this with you, said the Old Turtle, as she placed something in the little girl's hands. I have saved it for a long, long time, for someone just like you. The little girl looked at what the Old Turtle had handed to her. It was a kind of stone, a mysterious, beautiful stone. It was lovely to touch, and it made her feel good to hold it. Oh, do you see her holding it? She squeezed it tightly, then tucked it far away for her journey. "Thank you, old turtle," she said, and hugged her friend's great leathery neck. And then she started home. Once more she traveled through the forest of finding out, crossed the river of wondering, and the mountain of imagining. Crow led the way, and again the little girl grew tired. All of her animal friends helped. She sometimes touched the stone the old turtle had given her to renew her strength. And it took a long time, yet almost no time at all. And she was home. But it had been a very long journey, and those who had taken great journeys of the heart are changed. The people did not recognize her, and when she spoke, they did not understand. She told them of her journey, but the people could not follow her words. She spoke of a world made of small and gentle truths, of the people being one people, but they could not catch her meaning. She explained about the broken truth and the need to make it whole, but the people did not believe her and could not understand. Finally, Crow, seeing all that had happened, flew to the place high above the village where the great truth was kept in a place where all could see it. He cawed and cawed in his loudest voice, and suddenly the little girl knew what she needed to do. She climbed to the high place herself. She took Old Turtle's stone from her pocket, carefully added the missing piece to the old broken one. The fit was perfect. The people looked and looked and looked. Some frowned, some smiled, some laughed, and some cried, and they began to understand. Can you see what that whole truth is when they put it together and fixed it? The broken truth said, "You are loved." And the other piece said, "And so are they." So everyone is loved? Yes. Time passed upon the beautiful land, and the trees climbed like ladders to the stars once again. The waters shone like mirrors, and the people saw their beauty. A breeze stirred, and they heard its music. Tiny truths fell day by day, gentle as the soft rain and snow. And the people found these truths and kept them in their hearts. And slowly, as the people met other people different from themselves, they began to see in them themselves. And far away on a hill, in the very center of the world, Old Turtle smiled. I love this story of Old Turtle because it teaches us so many things. First of all, it teaches us something that is called the golden rule. Did you know when I was looking at this story, I went and I studied all of these different religions and different cultures. Did you know in every religion, in every culture, they have something that in our culture we call the golden rule that says, treat others the way you want to be treated. Like how Old Turtle points out this truth that says, you are loved and so are they. Now, in my tradition, I'm Christian, and Jesus said, he said to love everyone. In fact, there's a song that I teach the kids at my church, and I'm going to sing it for you because I think it's beautiful. It says, Jesus said, love everyone, treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. And it doesn't matter if people are Muslim or Hindu or Christian or Jewish or atheist or pagan or Wiccan or Jainist, or there's so many religions. There's more than 300 different religions and different cultures, and people look different and they speak differently and they eat different food, but it doesn't matter how we're different. It's important to remember that we need to treat others kindly, that we are loved and so are they, just like Old Turtle pointed out. And as we get out in nature, like Old Turtle said, I love to go to the beach and listen to the waves. To me, it sounds like the heartbeat of the earth. And we can see the trees and look up, and at night see the stars and watch flowers growing and see our animal friends and see that all of them love and all of them are filled with beauty and all of them have something to teach us, just like the little girl teaches the people. And I'll tell you what, children can teach things that often adults have forgotten. All of us know this truth of the golden rule, to treat others kindly, to remember that we are loved and so are others. But sometimes we need children to remind us about the importance of being kind. And when we can see ourselves in others, when we can see that all of us are the people and all of us deserve to be loved and we are loved, then we can have peace and happiness and the world will be a much better place. Well, boys and girls, that's my story for you today. And I hope you learned some things, and I hope you like to sing that song. Tell you what, I'll sing it one more time. Will you sing it with me? Jesus said, love everyone, treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. I love you, boys and girls, and I know all the people at Mayor Joe V. Sanchez Library love you too. We want you to be happy and successful and have wonderful lives. And the successful lives start with reading. So until next time, remember, you are loved and so are they. Have a good day, boys and girls. Bye.